Gender inclusion is critical to effective decision-making processes of economies and financial markets. Understanding this, the International Finance Corporation, in collaboration with the Nigeria Exchange Limited, hosted the maiden edition of the Gender Leaders Awards. The Gender Leader Awards, implemented under the Nigeria to Equal program, recognizes and celebrates private sector companies leading the way in gender equality performance.
This is a man's world, but it won't be nothing maybe without a woman going girl.
The hybrid event brought together C-suites, captain of industries, capital market regulators, policymakers, and investors. In her virtual opening remark, Khalid M. Sahar, the IFC Senior Country Manager in Nigeria, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, shared the essence of the event.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, allow me to say that it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this special Gender Leader Awards ceremony on behalf of the International Finance Corporation, IFC, and our co-host, the Nigerian Exchange, NGX Limited, to celebrate the remarkable successes achieved under the Nigeria to Equal program. I am indeed honored to celebrate all the hard work and achievements you have made over the past 30 months in promoting a more gender diverse and inclusive private sector in Nigeria. I moved to Nigeria earlier this year, and I must say, the more I work, the more I engage, the more exciting and impressed I am. It is because working with partners like you that we can make a difference.
Also, the CEO and Chairman of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, Mr. Temi Popola, and Alhaji Dr. Umaru Kwarianga lauded the initiative.
I would like to commend the IFC for conceptualizing the Nigeria to Equal project and collaborating with NGX to launch the initiative in 2020. Nigeria to Equal is designed to promote the values of diversity, equality, and representation among private sector players. The Gender Leader Awards is therefore an offshoot of this program. The award will spotlight companies under the initiative that are leading the way in gender equality performance metrics in line with Equilib's globally recognized standards. I'm pleased to share that Nigeria to Equal has recorded significant progress since it was officially launched. In 2021, the Gender Equality in Nigeria's Private Sector report was published. This report analyzed 30 of the most capitalized companies on our exchange, companies listed on the NGX, and highlighted critical issues, including but not limited to women's ability to participate on boards of corporate and executive level. Recently, our parent company, the Nigerian Exchange Group PLC, achieved the EDGE Assessment certification after undergoing thorough reviews of group workforce statistics, policies, and practices. This served as further evidence of our progress on gender efforts and our dedication to ensuring equal opportunities across our talent globally.
There are so many challenges in the corporate world in terms of gender parity and the rest. Yes, we are ready to consider that 30%, but you have to fight for that. You don't get things easily like that. So you have to join us and make sure that you have equal laws in terms of the population. You are almost the same in Nigeria, but I believe women can do even better. And this type of an opportunity of recognizing and giving awards is part of it that will encourage the other side of us in terms of gender to know that we are ready to support you so that you can be able to come either to compete with us or even to outshine us. So on this note, let me just give a very brief remarks. The population of our country, Nigeria, is almost equally divided between the male and the female gender, and we cannot afford to leave either gender behind if our country, Nigeria, is to move forward.
The special guest of honor and Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, commended the IFC and the NGX for the collaboration and highlighted how Lagos has driven the gender inclusion agenda.
So first is to acknowledge the former Minister for Communication and Technology, Dr. Mobala Johnson, a woman. Thank you very much, Dr. Johnson. To the chairman of NGX, Alajumaru Kwaranga, thank you very much. My good Abro, managing director of NGX, Temi Popola, thank you. Christian Mula Mula, I'm aware that Khalifa is online virtually. To CEOs of various companies that are here, my permanent secretaries that are also here. One of the things that we also pride ourselves in Lagos, which I'll talk about, is more than half of our permanent secretaries are women. More than half of our judges in Lagos are women. More than half of the CEOs and chief executive, of our parastatals are women. And quite a number of female cabinet members as well, maybe like the 1/3, the 35% that we did promise. So we'll keep that in view when we're doing the next cabinet appointments. Distinguished awardees that are here, managing directors and chief executives of companies that are here, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor that you've invited me here this evening to come in and just share a few thoughts with you. Lagos State is at the forefront of this effort, and we are dedicated to promoting initiatives and empowerment of women and girls and provide equal opportunities for all. Some of our initiatives which are fundamental to the promoting of gender equality include our zero tolerance policy for all forms of gender-based violence, for which we have strengthened our capacity of domestic and sexual violence agency. We're the only ones that have actually set it up to a full agency in the country. That's how important it is to us.
Mr. Mahmoud Mukhtar, Deputy Director of Securities and Exchange Commission, also gave his remark at the event.
And I'm here to represent the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, who could not make this event, but he has asked me to come and deliver this goodwill message on his behalf, and I'm going to read the goodwill message. I'm deeply honored to be invited to present a goodwill message at this award ceremony, Nigeria to Equal Gender Leader Awards, organized by Nigerian Exchange Limited and the International Finance Corporation, the IFC. I understand that the Nigeria to Equal Gender Leader Awards is designed to recognize and celebrate private sector companies that are leading the way in gender equality performance. In this regard, this occasion is significant as it will further elicit more interest by private sector entities in promoting gender gaps in the private sector. The partnership between NGX and the IFC in launching the Nigeria to Equal Gender Leader Initiative with the objective of promoting gender equality in corporate Nigeria is commendable and has the potential to contribute towards realizing the gender equality goal of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. At this point, I wish to congratulate the awardees for their accomplishment and encourage them to do even more in reducing gender gaps in leadership, employment, and entrepreneurship.
Highlight of the event was the presentation of awards.
The first awardee is Access Bank. A round of applause for Access Bank. Well done, Access Bank. The next awardee for this Company Leadership Gender Diversity Award is MTN Nigeria. So next up, I'm very happy to announce, the next awardee is Stanbic IBTC Bank. Stanbic IBTC Bank. The final awardee for the category of Company Leadership Gender Diversity is Sterling Bank.
Company Board Gender Diversity Award. This award spotlights organizations that have achieved a gender-balanced board of directors of up to 40 to 60% on their supervisory and management boards.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and other stakeholders spoke further on the value of the Maiden Gender Leader Awards.
What NGX and IFC had started is focusing on the private sector, which is a very good thing. What it means is that on that track, right, some players are beginning to do the right things to ensure that in all of their play, right, they put it back at the back of everything they're doing, that there has to be equality. They have to deliberately put women, in forefront. And we've seen all of the benefits. You get a lot of smart people who are doing great things, and we just have to provide the opportunity for them. We're also trying in the public sector, so it's nice that the private sector also complementing the roles that we're doing. So it's a good one.
Well, if you think about what NGX and IFC have been doing really around ESG and all the various ramifications and dimensions of it, one of the metrics really will be to reward those corporates and individuals that have really imbibed all that philosophy of inclusiveness, creating the right gender balance. And I think that's what this award largely seeks to do. It's one of the ways of incentivizing corporates that have already imbibed it and are pushing it. And then more importantly, to encourage other corporates and individuals to have a look at this space and begin to imbibe some of the qualities that this inclusiveness and ESG related matters represent in the larger scale of things.
Well, first of all, I want to commend the International Finance Corporation and also the NGX, our own stock exchange, for this initiative. I think it's very important to commend and celebrate anybody that is pushing the gender agenda forward. For 22 years, WIMBIS as an organization has continued to push to see an increased representation of women in leadership positions across various sectors. So if IFC now want to award some gender champions, we are fully aligned with them, and we're here to witness it and also to celebrate those that have shown that gender really does matter and inclusion is key in our society.
This award is all about incentivizing, encouraging companies to look through the gender lens and begin to look internally in their organizations and begin to make the changes that would bring about or increase opportunities for women within their companies. And it's right across the board. It's not just about promoting the women, it's about creating an environment whereby women have an opportunity to thrive, women have an opportunity to exercise their talents, to pursue their dreams. They have an opportunity, for example, by providing facilities for childcare. It means that the women don't have to be, they have an opportunity to focus on their work, focus on their careers, and are not taken away from their careers in order to attend to their children. So this is an opportunity for us to encourage the companies to fit with the ones who have been successful, to applaud their successes so far, and encourage them going forward to continue with that trend. When we invest in companies, it's very important for us to follow up on our investments, to supervise those investments, to ensure those investments are achieving the objectives that we set out to achieve. And that ranges from financial objectives, for example, meaning that if it's a business, it's growing that business, it's a profitable business. If it's manufacturing those products which are serving society. But also they are the softer side of the business, and that's where gender comes in. That the companies are also focusing right across the board on focusing on both sides of the gender, giving them equal opportunities to thrive. And those are all issues that we focus on. And that's why we have, for example, this kind of a celebration to encourage those companies to do that. This is all part of our broader intervention in supporting our companies, not only financially, but also supporting them to achieve, which become their own objectives. They set those objectives for themselves. So we're working in partnership with them as they seek to achieve those objectives.
This event is a great one indeed, as is also in line with the Goal 5, which has to do with gender equality. So recognition for women is really great that women are being recognized today. And we're happy to be here as a state and as an agency where we preach gender equality, which is very, very critical and one of the goals, of the SDG goals.
You look at the population, first of all, you look at the demography, you look at the strength of the economy in terms of manpower. You should also consider the poverty level because it has been established that where you see poverty, you see sickness. So pharmaceutical will continue to be relevant, and the earlier the government pay attention to investing heavily, giving appropriate incentive to this sector, the better for the nation, because a healthy nation can bring forth anything desired. When the nation is sick or not having access to quality healthcare services, it tells on the economy. No matter the amount of money spent in building hospitals, drugs must be there in affordable, you know, at affordable prices, and government have to intervene to make that possible. But the need for healthcare services in any nation, you can't undermine it. It is even more prominent in an economy such as ours, where population is growing at an alarming rate and poverty is also reigning supreme. So you see sickness, you see diseases, you see all sorts of things. So healthcare must come to help. So that is it. So it will continue to be relevant.
Well, if you look at listings traditionally, right, it's usually driven by some government policy. You can go back to indigenization decree. Um, but from an NGS perspective, we'll be very strong in the advocacy piece, just letting government recognize the need to provide some form of incentive to listed corporates because they're, first of all, more tax compliant. They are better managed companies and long lines of ESG. They are more compliant. We do have a framework that is encouraging a lot of corporates to begin to think about sustainability. And so it makes sense for government to really begin to create and craft policies that will encourage more corporates to list in the long run, and so that more corporates can list. But from an NGS perspective, we have also recognized the need to rework the boards in terms of listing. So today we have a technology board that takes cognizance of a different type of valuation metrics from the traditional main board, premium board, or the growth board segment of the market. So the tech board encourages tech companies to list as well as fintech companies to list. The whole idea is creating an enabling platform that will allow corporates find investors to be able to raise the sort of capital that they need, but more importantly for investors themselves to be able to find opportunities to grow their wealth. And that's really the heart of the conversation at the NGX and at the heart of our strategy is to create an enabling environment for investors to find products and for listed corporates to find investors to be able to raise required capital for long-term capital development and pursuit of their strategic objectives.
Well, in fairness, it is a very Herculean task to change mindsets. And even though it has been 22 years and there has been a bit of a shift in the needle, I mean, we still have a long way to go, but we have seen some progress. Wimbis has done this over the years through programs that advocate, through programs that inspire, through programs that empower. We have done a lot of connecting of women and to opportunities and also to build capacity. So we continue to engage with women of all ages, from all sectors, but at the same time, we help them to be inspired so that they can attain leadership positions. Wimbis is a catalyst, and we continue to be proud catalysts.
The Gender Leader Awards is a welcome development and should continue to promote action towards closing the gender gap in Nigeria and increase the participation of women across leaderships, employment, and entrepreneurships.